and gentlemen. Bungle, hope you're doing well, and I hope you're having a great day. Today we're going over Enlisted, the World War II free-to-play first-person shooter. Much question, much talked about. Hey, Bungle, let's talk about the M1 Bazooka, the level 30 campaign unlock that you get for the Allies in the Invasion of Normandy campaign. Now, if you're watching my channel, new viewer, possibly new subscriber, maybe wondering, Bungle, what do we do here? Well, I'll give you an overview, kind of tell you, what are we reviewing? What are we talking about next? Talk about the performance. Is it good? Is it bad? And lastly, is it worth it? So without further ado, let's begin. Start off with an overview. All right, this is an anti-tank weapon that is equipped by the bomber class. If you try to take it out and use it as an RPG, you will find it's very, very ineffective against infantry. However, if you take it out against enemy vehicles, it does very well. And we'll talk about it now in its performance. Well, the armament of it is a 60mm rocket heat shell, high explosive anti-tank. Now, you may be wondering, Bungle, how do I go and use the M1 Bazooka? So from playing it, I know when it first got released, there was a lot of controversy with the M1 Bazooka. Many users were upset with it. They were saying it was garbage, the PIAT was better, it was more reliable. Well, the problem, I feel, from looking at that angle of that approach, is that some players were trying to take out tanks frontally with the M1 Bazooka and not realizing the importance of going and enveloping an enemy tank or flanking around. The more common use of envelopment is flank. So for my testing from playing Pumas, right? Trying to take out Pumas. The Pumas has a weird damage model, but yes, you can take them out. It usually takes 2 shots to 1 shot to take them out. Now Panzer IVs, Panzer IIIs, yes, you can take them out. Of course, the best way of doing it, my approach, my recommendation, is if you see an enemy tank that's spotted on the map, you want to go and tactically move around the battlefield so that way you don't get shot, don't get observed by the tank, get on the side and get a good side shot on the tank, near its ammo, kind of look at the damage model to tell you where it's at. Usually if you play it center of mass, usually it will end up with a 1-shot kill. And you can fire it from a respectively long distance and still manage to get a 1-shot kill. Yes, this thing can take out Panthers using this method. Basically, my recommendation, my approach is if you see an enemy tank, you can't really take it out with, let's say, your Jumbo, your Firefly, your Wolverine, or even aircraft. Then you can go flank around the battlefield, go envelop the enemy tank, and blow it up with a side shot. Very easy to do. It just requires basic common map knowledge, know where the enemy tank is, know good avenues of approach you can take, and take out the enemy tank. Lastly, is it worth it? And I say yes. Comparing this to the PIAT, the problem with the PIAT from playing it and everything like that was that the PIAT, in my opinion, just felt kind of weaker, where it wasn't really as reliable with one-shotting enemy tanks. The M1 Bazooka, on the other hand, has the capability of one-shotting. I one-shotted the Panther with it, and I one-shotted the Panzer IV with it. Now, of course, it's off to where you aim, where you fire, getting used to range finding with it. Of course, if you pick this up right away and take it out into a battle, if you don't know what you're doing, or you're kind of unfamiliar with how to use the M1 Bazooka, such as range finding, or just firing it, you may struggle a little bit at first. But once you overcome that obstacle, and my recommendation, always take out practice mode and just see how it plays and everything like that, is that once you get out into actual combat, you know what you're doing with it. You know that, hey, if you see an enemy tank, you need to go flank around the battlefield and go and take out the tank with a side shot. Then you will find this is actually a very, very reliable toolkit that you can have to counter Panther spam, as well as any other tank that you may face in the Invasion of Normandy campaign. Personally, in my opinion, I definitely like to keep this in my lineup. It was actually pretty fun to use. You just have to be tactically sound with using this. Do I see a lot of Allied players using this? Not really, and keep in mind too, a lot of the Allied teams aren't really that good in the Invasion of Normandy campaign, so you're going to have to be very tactical, kind of like Metal Gear Solid, when you're moving around the battlefield, so that way you don't get spotted by a skilled German player or by the tank you're trying to take out. Had that happen to me a few times, not a fun experience, but typically, like I said, if you kind of read the map, you know where to go, you know when the enemy's not firing. If you manage to go and get a jump on the enemy, which most likely, if you know what you're doing, you will, then you'll be able to take out these tanks. I, however, would not recommend relying on your teammates, relying on just charging up the battlefield, because a skilled German player or the tank will see you and take you out immediately. Even if you try firing at it frontally, which I don't even recommend at all, it's not going to penetrate and you're going to attract the attention of the tank either way. So yes, that's my 2 cents. I personally really like this. Of all the anti-tank weapons with the Panzerfaust, with the PIAT, and now with the M1 Bazooka, I actually like the M1 Bazooka more just because of the fact that it's reliable. There really isn't a drag or anything. If you fire the Panzerfaust, it's kind of like a little shot put distance when you fire it, but with the M1 Bazooka, it's just a rocket, goes straight and it hits your target. So I like it, recommend picking it up, using it in your anti-tank loadout, so that way you can always counter any Panther spam if you can't take it out with your tank or with an aircraft. Other than that, if you reach this point in the video, new viewer, possibly new subscriber, I hope today is the day that I earn your subscription. Having your sub and match that like button does help me with the YouTube algorithm. Returning sub, returning viewer. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you think the M1 Bazooka is good or better than the PIAT. Other than that, I hope you all have a great day. Take care.